Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Shaka Hislop to the show, because it's that time of year, Shaka,
again,
where I put it to you that you say that Messi has to win the World Cup to be the best ever.
Nothing has changed this performance, as fantastic as it was, and it was a joy to watch. Best club player ever, no question.
But if he was French, he'd win the World Cup.
Is he French? We're talking about Lionel Messi here, right?
Yes.
The Argentinian.
Yes.
Right. Best club player ever, no question. It's my opinion, and I don't know whether this applies. I can't think of any other example in any other sport where...
I can't think of any other person that comes up with this either.
Where the best in that sport, somebody is crowned the best to have ever played that sport and hasn't won that sport's greatest prize. I don't think that applies anywhere else in any other sport. Now, I sit here and I maintain he's the best club player ever. But to be branded the best to have ever played the game, I think international football, and as a result, World Cups have to be taken into consideration.
But
and
it's got nothing to do with him. Look how Caballero throws the ball in for Argentina. It's a complete mess surrounding the whole squad. It's not his fault.
It's a team game. You live and you die by it being a team game. The other thing that...
How can you die by being a team game if we're talking about the best player that ever played?
It's a team game. I don't.
So if the team doesn't win,
that.
it doesn't matter. If the team doesn't win, it doesn't matter. Is that what you're saying? If Argentina and Messi don't win the World Cup, it doesn't matter. He can't be the best player.
I'm saying this, right? If you're Argentine...
I thought I asked quite a simple question.
No, I have no idea what you're asking. And I'm just trying to state my position because I'm not quite sure what you're asking.
I'm asking, if Argentina don't win the World Cup with Messi in the team, then he's never going to be the best player.
Not for me, no.
Regardless.
Not for me, no. Because as I just said,
that makes no sense.
I just said, I don't see how you are anointed the best player to have ever won the game without winning the game's greatest prize. I don't think that applies anywhere else.
But it's not his fault.
No,
if Higuain takes that chance in 2014, we're having a completely different conversation.
It's a team game. It's a team game. If Harry Kane scores a hat-trick, we're probably having a different conversation as well.
It's the group that's around him.
How do we get to Harry Kane?
Because we've thrown out ifs, ands and buts here. No. Well, if he did this and if this didn't happen, I'm just saying, this is where we are.
We're not talking about ifs and ands and buts at all. We're talking about the way the guy plays the game.
He just said...
The way the guy plays the game.
He just said, if Higuain scores, we're having a different conversation. I didn't bring in the if. He did. And I'm just saying, if we're starting to throw ifs about, we could take this to all kinds of extremes.
But you're using sport as the platform for this.
Well, let's forget about ifs. Let's get rid of the ifs and all the other nonsense. Who's better than Messi?
Pele.
Purely because he won the World Cup.
Pele played for how many years? Scored how many goals? Won 3 World Cups?
In Brazil.
It was better. He was making more money playing in Brazil. And this is the other kind of ridiculous...
Money's got to do it.
This is the other ridiculousness about it.
It's a level of play.
You can't...
It's a level of play.
So the level in Brazil in the mid-60s is the same as Brazil is now? That's a total... Brazilian... Hold on. In the mid-60s, Brazilian players, or very few and far between, left Brazil to play in Europe. Europe was not as dominant in terms of talent and attracting talent as it was in the mid-60s as it is now. Purely because they couldn't travel there.
The only thing we know is that for 10 years, a decade, at the highest level, Messi has been the best player. To do that for 10 years, not just turn up every now and again and produce a little bit of magic.
No,
almost every single time he steps on the field, he produces magic.
Best club player ever.
He's so good. He's so good that when he doesn't, we think he's in a bad game.
Can you not cut him any slack because of the surrounding group around him with the Argentinian?
Best club player ever.
Can you not cut him any slack over that?
No, I'm cutting him a lot of slack. I'm saying he's in the conversation. He's the only person who hasn't won the World Cup who's in the conversation.
Ryan Giggs have more trophies and medals than Lionel Messi?
What?
Does Ryan Giggs at Manchester United have more medals than Lionel Messi?
I have no idea.
Tell you what, I bet there's half a chance he does. So does that mean that Ryan Giggs is now the best club player? Because he's got more trophies than Lionel Messi?
Let's talk about Pele, Paul.
Yep.
How do you compare the two?
Because I have fantastic memories of Pele and what he went through and the era that he played in, the way that he played his football, the way that they obviously kicked him out of the '66 World Cup, didn't they? So, for me, I always have Pele in a higher regard. Look, Pele had some fantastic players around him, but what Pele did in that era, where he was kicked from pillar to post, but still played with a smile on his face, scored incredible goals, assisted and did the whole shooting match. So I got Pele ahead of Messi. And look, I love Messi. I've loved him for donkey's years. But Pele is still #1 in my book.
Robert, where do you stand on all of this?
I have to disagree with Shaka. I think it's about just the individual player, and Messi is, in my view, a magnificent player. I would still say, and I'll probably go along with Paul, but we're only watching video clips of Pele. You see all his best moments. You don't see his bad games. Johan Cruyff didn't win the World Cup, but at the time he was the best player in the world at that particular point. And he got the Dutch to the final. They didn't win it. And Maradona obviously did win for Argentina on a couple of occasions. But in my view, Lionel Messi has been head and shoulders above anybody else in the world for the last 10 years.
Hello, welcome to Extra Time.
Wow.
I'm on holiday, boys. I'm on holiday after
Yes,
this.
you are.
Let's get this done, shall
You
we?
always on holiday.
I've noticed.
Oh.
That's a very good point, that, Jack.
Yeah.
You're right, he is.
And you know who gets all this stick? You know who gets all this stick?
Me.
Carry on, Dan.
How long? Stu Robson's here as well, ladies.
Hey! Robson.
Come on, Rob.
Oh, Baldy!
Oh, yes.
Rob always dresses so well, doesn't he? Nice dresser.
He's got a lot of time on
No point buttering me up yet, Shaka.
No, I'm just saying, I like the, you know.
Robbo, you go to Indochino.
How long will Chelsea's
I'd like
patience...
to. For that price, I will.
All right.
All right, Rob.
All right, Rob.
All right.
You're not going to free one. How long will Chelsea's patience last with Alvaro Morata? He scored today and cried.
Yes, he did. Fantastic.
Cried when he scored. Do you think their patience will last, Robbo?
I think he's a better player than Giroud, but I don't think their patience is going to last too long. Sorry, he doesn't fancy him at the moment. He scored a goal but didn't play particularly well tonight. I think at some point they'll look to trade him off somewhere else in Europe. So they need a new centre-forward, because Giroud, I think, has been hopeless in the first few games of the season.
Well, he's not been that good.
Hazard loves him, though, Robbo.
So I said he's the best ever.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen him play on 3 occasions now, and if he's done 3 things right in each game, I'll be surprised. I think against West Ham he touched the ball 15 times.
No, it's
I
Arsenal.
like Chelsea,
It's
but I
Arsenal.
think Giroud touched it 15 times and 14 were wrong.
Jorginho. He
Oh, yeah.
hates Chelsea players.
How's your Jorginho hate going, Robbo?
He's playing quite well at the moment. On the ball, he's playing very well. Defensively, I still have my issues with him, but he's doing okay at the moment.
See, here's the thing, though, right? Rob was not on Twitter, so I get all his Jorginho hate tweets.
Oh. Why is that, man?
I don't know.
What's it got to do with you?
Because he's not on Twitter. And then, I don't know.
How is it to work with Steve Nicol after Liverpool loses a match, especially a European one?
Oh, God.
I just think he's fine.
No, after the game is
After
okay.
the game, it's
After
during the game.
During the game.
During.
Okay.
What game was it last?
Manchester City.
Yeah,
Manchester City.
he had to go in a separate room to watch the game.
Yeah. You decided to detach yourself from
Well, I was thinking of others around me.
Yes, that was a good idea.
There was a lot of offside
He's
talk, wasn't
been put in a separate room quite a few times.
Now and again I need the straight jacket in the room and on my own and that.
Shaka, why do you show more support to West Ham over Newcastle?
I played longer with West Ham. 5 years at West Ham. So it's just, you know.
both rubbish teams, though.
No, they're not.
Hey?
They're on the bounce back.
Hey, Maris, what's happened to your Ipswich? Tractor boys are
I saw them the other day.
broken.
You got a puncture, in they?
So they're in reverse. New gaffer's struggling.
Would David Wagner be a good choice for the US men's national team manager? Should we go to Robbo? Let's ask Robbo.
Why not?
Robbo, what do you think?
He did very well with Huddersfield to bring them up. He did OK towards the end of last season to keep them up, but this season they've been really poor. He's not got it quite right, but I think he'd do OK. He seems to be a decent manager, good character. He'd do a decent job.
If the police were to come into the studio and serve a warrant on speeding tickets, who would they come for? Well, I would say Robbo's out of this conversation. Yeah?
I say Hislop.
No, that ain't me. I'll go for Dan.
Dan Thomas.
No. Right, so you drive 4 hours a day, yeah?
Hold on.
How many speeding tickets have you had over the years driving to ESPN?
How many miles is it?
Over the years?
125.
Why are you whispering?
I'd like to interrupt.
Yes?
So, from ESPN
Yes?
to Boston,
Yes?
it is roughly 120 miles.
How did you find that out?
Because Mr. Mariner comes from Boston.
Put his hand up and whisper
Travels-
tomorrow.
And travels here. And actually, he's not the only one who travels here from Boston.
Yes.
A certain Shaka Hislop.
Yes?
Now, Mr. Hislop informed us that it takes him 2 hours to get here.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Hold on.
the speed limit
Hold
on the
on.
motorways is 65 miles an hour.
TV. Math
So that
isn't
doesn't
your
make
thing.
up.
Don't try math.
That doesn't match
Dan,
up.
I need to interject here.
Robbo's
I
getting
need to
involved.
interject here, Dan, because when Shaka was at West Ham, I witnessed his driving on many occasions. In his big flash Maserati, he used to whip down the old A120. Disgraceful.
Nobody asked you anything,
Shaka was his
Robbo.
number plate.
Nobody asked you anything.
Shaka was his number plate.
No.
It was so flash.
To
Unbelievable.
to the question that was asked,
How many tickets have you had over the years?
I have had one.
Wow.
One. I've had 2 warnings, but 1 ticket.
Have you got one of those machines in your car where you see where the police is and you can see whether they're around and all the rest of it?
No. Yeah, that.
Eh? You've got
What's
to.
this?
Do what?
You've got to.
No, I don't.
Hey, by the way,
What about...
Listen, with the traffic,
hold on,
see
work
with
it
the
out.
traffic, with the
Wait,
traffic
work up
from
the speed.
here, between here and Boston, there's no way you do it in 2 hours.
90.
Work out the speed. Work
He's
out the
doing
speed.
90.
We got to it's 65 miles an hour on
Yeah.
the motorway. Then what?
Oh, no.
Leave it.
You've got to factor in I'm factoring in the traffic as much as anything else.
Stevie, what about you? How many tickets have you had since you moved to the US?
So it's not many. Not many.
I
at
put
all.
my cruise control. I just
I'm
put
gonna
my
say
cruise
it.
control.
I'm 90.
Relax.
I'm 90.
No, I'm taking my time up the road.
Listen, let's
I'm going to
just...
say
We've been
3
somebody-
and 20 years.
It's all right.
That's not bad.
You had one
David.
at the airport last... Well, that wasn't for
Yeah,
speed,
that was for the
it?
stop sign.
Hey,
We need to
Honest,
stop.
I tell you what, that's a joke, by the way.
it says stop.
Well, they didn't stop.
You've got to stop at
If there's a stop sign, you have to
Yeah,
stop.
stop, Stevie.
You don't even need a speed limit for that.
Respect the law.
That's typical, that.
Okay, if you want to go that route, then yes, I didn't stop.
Right,
that's
so you
it.
got a ticket.
But I'll tell you what I've got the problem with, though.
Getting a ticket.
I had to pay $60, right,
stop
to go
it.
to a retraining class. What's that all about? Retraining what?
But you have got to learn what stop means.
Stop.
Stop.
No, next time, stop.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
What about you, Maris?
you know what's terrible? Hang on a minute. You know what's terrible? A goalkeeper with a Maserati.
Aye.
What was the number plate?
how are we back
What was
here
the
again?
number plate?
That's the
Big
point.
Shaq. Big Shaq, number 1.
Big Shack. What a joke.
What's the point
Honestly.
of having a Maserati if you don't go above 60 miles an hour?
Well, it's not.
What is the point?
It's not.
You'd be well buying yourself a wee
and you're a
Honda or
goalkeeper
something.
as well. Goalkeeper,
Aye.
Maserati, doesn't go together.
Speeding tickets, how many?
0. 0.
None.
No.
Wow.
I have a thing in the car called Waze, and it tells me to calm down when the police are around.
There you go. That was that wee thing.
What about Rob? Robbo never. I would say
He hasn't
never.
got a car.
Well, it's
Rob.
too
I have had tickets, but at the moment, clean licence at the moment. 30,000 miles a year, clean licence.
There's too
Because you
much,
saved the band two
too much
weeks
traffic
ago.
in London. There's too much traffic in London. You can't speed.
Never served the ban.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Robert, what motor did you have when you were at the Arsenal?
Oh, I had a Ford Sierra, I think.
Ford
Wasn't too
Sierra.
flash, not like Shaka's.
What's the flashiest car you've ever had, Robbo?
Yeah.
Prius?
Oh, I had a Jaguar XJRS. It was a 6-litre top of the range Jag.
How
big
many
time.
letters is that?
Has the ex-wife got that now? Huh?
Yeah. West Ham players didn't like that. I'd Robbo as the number plate.
Oh, goodness me.
On that note,
Yeah, well,
ESPN FC returns
harsh.
tomorrow. Shaka and Stevie are giving their predictions on the Liverpool game. Marius isn't here. He's back up his tree.
Come on, come on, City.
We got a ladder, Jim. You just climb up.
Tomorrow, and of course, we'll be looking in detail at Liverpool against Manchester City. You both are on this show, on the show tomorrow. However, Maris and Robbo aren't, so let's just have a little sneak peek, shall we? Robbo, taking a look at this, the odds are pretty even, aren't they, overall? How do you see this game going at Anfield?
It will all. The referee will play a big part in it because Liverpool will close down as they did against Manchester City at Anfield last season, and they did well at Anfield on both occasions. They'll close down, they'll fly into challenges, they'll try and win the ball back in good areas. Man City will try and play around that pressure, and I think Liverpool get away with quite a lot of what I would call fouls, and they aren't given because the crowd, because the players, whatever, for whatever reason, the referee I think sometimes is quite lenient with
What's
Liverpool.
What's your prediction, Robbo?
And if he allows it to go on. If he allows it to go on, Liverpool, I think, will keep winning the ball back and keep counter-attacking and keep causing problems.
What's your prediction, Robbo?
I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
He was trying to talk his way to the end of the show there.
Maris?
I think it's what Guardiola's learned from playing Liverpool last season. Can he make adjustments?
What's your prediction?
It's a draw.
Oh,
It's got a draw written all over it.
Really?
Absolutely.
Who's happy with the draw?
Guardiola.
Oh, OK. You can find out Shaka and Stevie's predictions tomorrow. Will they think it's a draw? Do you think it's going to be a win? Who's going to lose?
Let me tell you.
We talked a lot about Messi, not much about the result and the significance of it from a Spurs point of view. They're in trouble. No points after their opening 2 matches. 11-4, the bookies say, to advance. Barca and Inter, big favourites. Just a reminder of their schedule. It's head-to-head against PSV over match day 3 and 4. Then it's Inter. Then it's Barca at the Camp Nou. I suppose you could soften the blow and say, well, maybe Barca already qualified. Maybe they won't put out a full-strength side in that game. But, Robbo, from what you've seen of Spurs so far this season, have they got what it takes to get themselves out of this mess?
No, because I think they're going to have to win at least 3 games, and I'm not sure they're going to do that. They're going to beat PSV, you'd think, home and away. Then they've got to beat Inter by more goals than Inter beat them at the San Siro. So I think it's going to be a really tough ask for Spurs, and I don't think they're playing quite well enough. Harry Kane scored a great goal last night, but he's still not the player he was the last 2 or 3 years. He looks a yard off the pace at the moment. They've got injury problems. They've changed from a back 3 to a back 4 at times in the same game. There's not that energy about them when they're closing the ball down. They look vulnerable when balls are played in behind them. I think Spurs are going to be OK. I think they'll be in maybe get in the top 4 in the Premier League, but I don't think they're going to get through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. They're just not good enough at the moment.
Spurs fans, I suppose, though, could argue and could say, Stevie, look, we didn't have Dele Alli, didn't have Eriksen, we were missing key players, and yet we almost got a point from Barcelona.
But you could also say we had our best goalkeeper back, our World Cup winning goalkeeper, and he was an absolute shambles. And he's gone from being one of their best and most consistent players to a guy who looks as though he's got a mistake in him. So how are you going to beat Inter or Barca with a goalkeeper who's got a mistake in him and a team that going forward don't look as threatening as they did?
So you say your money's on Barca and Inter?
My money absolutely is on Inter and Barca.
You agree, Shaq?
Yeah, I do. I just feel, well, Barca are the runaway team in this group. Inter are starting to show a kind of consistency that you expected from them for far too long. And maybe you thought Spurs had in them. Spurs showed that consistency last season. But now, between Pochettino changing formations and changing personnel and a number of players continuing to complain about their summer schedule with the World Cup, as you keep saying, you give players an excuse, 9 times out of 10 they're going to take it. I just don't feel Spurs are consistent enough. They're not playing well enough. I don't see them going through because of who else is in that group.
Napoli, of course, with that win against Liverpool, and I know you talked about it quite a lot on yesterday's show. But, Stevie, I want to focus as we're talking about the best and what makes Lionel Messi in that conversation, of course, for the greatest ever is the consistency that we see from Messi.
Absolutely.
We're seeing a slip in that consistency with regarding Salah at the moment. Really is it's a tale of 2 seasons for him. So how do we describe it? Did he exceed everything last season and now he's coming back to the norm?
Number one, yes, I think he did. No question, exceed last season. I don't think he's at the norm. I think he's below par. The truth is, he's had a lot of chances, not just in the Champions League, but in the Premier League. And he's looked uncomfortable in front of goal or in front of the goalkeeper. And I would suggest, actually, that the fact that he's struggling I think the other two don't help. The fact that the other, Firmino and Mane, aren't quite at their best is highlighting that Salah's not quite in form. I think that's not helping him.
Is he going to come good? I suppose that's.
I think he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said it last week. This time last season, he was in a similar sort of position where we were talking about he needs 3 chances to score a goal. But of course, we didn't hold them in the same light this time last year as we do now. So it's just showing up more because he's lacking confidence.
The thing for me with Mo Salah, and yes, exceeded all expectations last season, probably, and you expected him to come back to the norm, but he's not the only one who's kind of suffering in this same vein. And now I'm starting to look, as you see, Firmino struggling to repeat the kind of form that we saw last season, as has Sadio Mane. Now I'm starting to wonder if Liverpool's own high-intensity game, coupled with the fact that we are just coming out of a World Cup where all 3 of those played, has now had an effect, not just on Mo Salah, who's kind of grabbing the headlines because of how he grabbed the headlines last season, but everybody's starting to be a little bit affected by it. And that's my big concern for Liverpool as this season goes on.
But we're still talking about a team that's top of the league.
Yeah, but I think what's happening with look, it's intense pressure when you play for a team like Liverpool. The English press are all over the fact that, oh, he's not playing as well, he's not doing this, not that. I think what he's doing, he's overthinking it a little bit. Because if you cast your mind back to last season, when he was getting in 1v1 with the goalkeeper, there was no doubt in anybody's mind, and his mind, that he was putting it in the back of the net. He's just not doing that. That's the only thing that's not dropping for him. And I think maybe the pressure that's coming maybe from the Egyptian FA, where they're having a little bit of trouble with that, but maybe the pressure that, he's focusing on the star man. If you looked at them play, I saw them pre-season against Man City. All right, Man City played a poor side, but the way that those two, Mane and Salah, played together was an absolute joy. They played with a smile on their face. They were actually finding each other from wide areas. They were picking each other out from open play also. So the togetherness is still there. It's still there. It's just waiting to break open. And as we said about Harry Kane, lads, that Harry can't score in August, he can't do that. He did so in August, and all of a sudden he started scoring his goals now. He's got a fantastic goal last night. It'll come from Mo Salah. I got no doubt whatsoever.
The thing with me is you see Mo Salah, you talk about his finishing last season, plays with confidence, through like he was against Chelsea, through 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. When you play with confidence, you lift it over the keeper. That's what he did. When he's not, you try to go for the little slide rule ball, which he did against Chelsea, kept a mixy save. And I just starting to wonder if his own struggles are starting to play on him mentally as well.
Since Wenger has left, Unai Emery has taken charge. And they're on a good run at the moment, Robbo. You take a look, they've won their last 8 matches. Why aren't we talking about Arsenal in this run more?
Because they haven't played anybody that they were expected to lose to and beaten them. They lost their first 2 games when Emery first came in, and they looked disjointed defensively. They looked disjointed playing out from back. They have been playing better, but they haven't been overly convincing. Even today, I was doing the game against Qarabag. For long periods, Qarabag dominated possession. They kept on switching the play, and Arsenal defended for their lives when balls came into the box. But they had their chances, Qarabag. Arsenal had 3 or 4 chances, took 3 of them. That's where they're doing well at the moment. They're taking their chances. The opposition aren't. Everton came to the Emirates. Watford came to the Emirates and created lots of chances and didn't take them. There's still problems defensively, but it's getting better for Unai Emery, and I think Arsenal are just about turning the corner.
From one ex-gunner to another. What do you make of it, Maris? We should be excited. Arsenal won 8 on the bounce.
No, look, we all know they haven't played anybody. We're waiting now for November the 3rd, so when they play Liverpool. That's the next big test. Let's see how far this side have come. For me, look, going forward, they're still exciting. They've got Aubameyang and Lacazette. They're very excited going forward, can score some great goals. But you've got to look at the defensive side of this game. Not only the back four, but also in the centre of midfield. I'm still concerned about those holes being plugged. They're just so wide open. As to Robbo's point, teams do come to the Emirates and create chances. I mean, Everton's spot on. They were unlucky. Watford were unlucky. So I'm not convinced yet. That's why I'm not getting out my tree about this run that they've gone on. We expect them to win those games.
What tree are you in? Where are you living?
You'll be surprised. But the thing is, I'm waiting for the Liverpool test. And then we'll find out how good they are defensively.
Stuart Robson, what do you make of everything that's played out over the last couple of weeks regarding Jose Mourinho and Manchester United?
I can't see there's any way he's going to turn things around, Jose Mourinho. He's upset most of the players. He's tried different formations. He's tried different personnel. He's glum all the time. The crowd are now turning on him. The players look as though they're waiting for him to get the sack. You know, and you've seen it many times when they know the manager's under pressure. They don't particularly like the manager. They'll try to a certain degree, but when things start to go against them, they don't all pull together. And that's what's going to happen eventually. Eventually, the board are going to have to say, this is going nowhere. Yes, he can say that he had a great season last year. It wasn't a great season. It was an average season. This year, it's been torrid football. Hasn't been winning games. He's going to have to go at some point.
They should fire him now, Robbo. Is that your opinion?
I think it is. I can't see him changing. I can't see him turning things around. He's a manager that needs to have the players eating out of his hands. That's what he did at Chelsea the first time round. That's what he did at Inter. That's what he did at Real Madrid for a very short time before the players started arguing with him. At the moment, he's not got the players eating out of his hands. They don't even want to play for him, some of them.
What do you make, Maris, of all of this mess?
Well, I agree with Robbo, and you can see that the players don't want to play for him. And it started in the summer. You know, everybody was in the same boat after the World Cup. But all he did was criticise his players. Every single training session, every single match. What are you coming watching this group for? They're not worth the money, and so on and so forth.
So what about
How do you get your players on board?
What about the argument from the fact that, hey, it doesn't matter what you think of your manager. You're paid a lot of money to play football, to go out there and represent Manchester United, and yet you're not giving it 100%.
Well, that's debatable whether giving it 100%. It comes from the top, though. It's what he's doing on the training ground. What message is he saying to the players? What patterns of play is he putting in training? You can see nothing. They look as though it's a rudderless ship. They look as though they're out there. They're staring into the floodlights, wondering, you know, let's get this game over with. Because you look at United, even look at United last season. They were way better than this. I mean, this is just absolute dross that they're turning up. You know, Lukaku's been struggling. Is that because of other players? The service is not coming in. So no, it's on the training ground. It's what the manager is doing with his players. We've constantly said what other managers are doing. Pochettino, even though the wheels have come off just a little bit recently, but Guardiola across the street at Manchester City, what he does with players, he gets creativity out of players that you think are bang average, like Fabian Delph. I never saw him drifting into midfield from the left-back position. That's coaching. You know, everybody seems to have a way of playing. Liverpool have a way, Chelsea have a way under Sarri now, and Mourinho hasn't. Most certainly, there is no way of playing. There's no system. There is no what's the best system to get the best out of the players. And that's what he's paid to do.
The latest Serie Awesome podcast is available to download now. Here is a little snippet.
You can find a lot of faults in what Liverpool did, and it was a bad day and whatever else. But it was a hell of a performance from Napoli.
And it was, you know, it was essential, by the way, that goal. I mean, you know, it was a hell of a performance, and Dries Mertens hits the bar, and you think it's a hell of a performance for nothing. You think it's going to be a hell of a performance. And bluntly, with 2 points from 2 games, with the 2 games being away to Red Star at home to Liverpool, Napoli were almost certainly going out of the group. Like, you know, you had to win this game.
They had
still a tough
it
group,
was a
but
must
they had
win.
to win this game.
As well as reflecting on the Champions League, they're looking ahead to what is a full programme of fixtures in Serie A this weekend. How many Italian teams feature in Shaka's power rankings this week? Well, let's find out with the man himself, Shaka Hislop.
Well, we start with an English team.
That's a strange move.
Yeah, well, you know, draw in the league and then Champions League weeks are tough on them. Liverpool, a draw and a loss. You dropped what? 7 places?
What?
Wow.
Napoli get theirs spotted up in 8th. Inter on a fantastic run into 7th. Top of the Bundesliga, still going great. In the Champions League is Dortmund. And then Atleti. No arguments there.
Atleti 5th,
No.
Jack.
Man City. No arguments there.
Scrape to win, yeah.
Barca, back in
Barca.
What?
Couple in reserve.
it. PSG.
Oh, hang on.
PSG!
And again, ladies and gentlemen, the ¡1 team in football,
I'll tell you what.
Juventus.
How does PSG get number 2
Yes.
when they've played absolutely? They got
They're
spanked
nobody.
against Liverpool and played against nobody
Nobody.
since, and they're number 2.
Top in France, top second in the Champions League group.